Yes, there is.
We're doing 12 math problems and writing a program. We're writing 6-page papers every day.
Listen, math is worthless. Hello, guys. Welcome to the Chronicle podcast. This is episode 2, where math is worthless, and we will explain why here in a second. Today, I am yet again joined with me on Graystone. I really hope that came across on the audio, because I don't know. I wasn't watching.
I think it's the screen yet.
I mean, it moves, but it moves when there's any audio at all. Yeah.
And it's not hard.
I will concede that it's not worthless. Before 8th grade. At 8th grade, there's a point that it becomes worthless.
If you're using math in your career, then it's never worthless.
Okay, you guys have heard it here from Neon first. If you are a math teacher or a scientist,
Or an engineer, or a mechanic.
yes, I would argue mechanic. Depending on the type of mechanic, I would argue on mechanic.
A lot of mechanics have to use these.
But 99% of the time, math is worthless. Beyond basic addition and subtraction, math is worthless 99% of the time.
I would argue you need addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. And then by 8th grade, if you're not going into a math-based career, or a career that has math in it all, then you probably don't.
And they should allow you to not take it.
I would argue that that's actually, yeah, I agree.
I would not have taken one math class in high school if they weren't trying to force it down your throat that you're going to need it every day.
I would have it, but I'm going to use it.
I won't. I have not. The last time I used math was basic addition and subtraction and a little bit of multiplication. Like, I barely used division.
I would argue that shit like logarithms and all that are probably useless.
They're completely useless.
Yeah, because I'm not even using them in my career, and I'm going engineering and computer science.
Logs are worthless.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Those are completely worthless.
Yeah, no, you can do that with a calculator. You don't need to learn all that bullshit.
Yeah, I don't like math classes. I hated 12th grade math.
Math. I always enjoyed math, just because I could do it all super fast, so I felt like it made me feel smart.
You see, I could do it really quickly without a calculator.
Yeah, I never needed a calculator unless it was like 6-digit numbers being multiplied or divided together.
Yeah, I didn't need one for that.
I did. If it was more than 5 digits, I need a calculator. If it's division or multiplication.
Yeah, you just take it one step at a time. Who cares? Whatever.
Yeah, but I'm saying like really quick.
Graphs.
Like, you could work it out.
There are very few things. Like, I only used a calculator in 12th grade because by then I was so done with math. I did not care. And 99% of the time I was in that class, I was on my phone.
I liked being able to show off that I could do the stuff without a calculator.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's the problem. Like, 11th and 12th grade, I remember nothing other than I remember what a log is and that logs are worthless.
I don't remember who my 11th grade math teacher was.
Yeah, mine was the one you had for homeroom, which I'm not going to say her name.
Yeah, no, that teacher was kind of a bitch.
I hated her. And here's why. It would have been one thing if, like, 2 weeks into class, she did something that just annoyed me. No, day one, she introduced the class, put everyone in assigned seats, and then sat on her phone for the next 3 months.
That's what she did while I was in her homeroom, except, you know how, like, we had the reading thing and nobody enforced it?
Yeah.
She actually made us do either homework or read a book.
You would be reading anyway.
I know, but, like, my cousin had her for homeroom, and so she ended up making her, like, move shit around in the class or help her, like, with grade papers.
She tried to get me one time. Only once. There was some stupid assignment she was going over, explaining stuff, and I went, okay, this, I've answered them all, I'm done, I'm looking at this now. I just started drawing or reading or whatever. I was doing something, I don't know. Probably drawing, because that's all I did in our class. And she gets to question 8, I'll say, and she says, Jacob, what is the answer? And I went, C. And she went, yeah? I didn't look up. Or if anything, I glanced up and then looked back down and answered the question.
You know that chemistry teacher we had in high school who everybody hated?
Chemistry. The one that started with an R?
No, the one that started with a P.
Oh,
Miss
yeah, I know.
Yeah, she well, you know how I read, and science isn't, a thing I try for, so. Like, I would get done with all this shit, right? And so I would read in her class, which she hated. Like, with a burning passion. And she was the same, like, she was going through assignments before, and it's like, it was balancing chemical equations. And it's like, yeah, so many people were so bad at that I got 3 in a row that she called on me without looking up. And guess what? She still made me close the book. Like, she told me to close the book and then had me answer a question when I didn't want to close the book. And then I answered 3 of them, and she still made me close the book.
I would just say, listen, I will close the book when you stump me.
Remember, and we had that science teacher in 8th grade who, like, punished me by not letting me read. Because I read during his class so much.
He, at one point, because we had different classes during that, I was in his last class, I was just reading whatever. I was reading Maximum Ride.
I had him for 4th period.
I was reading Maximum Ride because you had got me into that series, and I was just addicted to
I was reading the Warrior Cat books.
And he went, and he called me and said, "Put up that book. I've already banned another student from reading."
Yeah.
I know that student. He's my friend.
But he would give us the worksheets that were supposed to last all class, and I'd finish in like 6 minutes.
He hated people.
And he hated if you did anything other than the worksheets in the classroom.
Listen, he only got on to me once about reading out of every time I'd be drawing. At one point, I sat directly in the front row, middle, where he stood, and I would just draw, and he never said a word about it.
Dude, no, but like when he banned me from reading, I just had to sit there in class with the worksheet done and just stare at the walls. And I got so upset. I opened books after he banned me and read a couple like in his class, and he ended up giving me detention once for it. He is still my #1 favorite science teacher though, because he would tell the stories at the beginning of class, and I loved it. And this is a true story I just made up myself.
He was an awesome teacher, but he was just. He was not
strict. He was strict.
He was not a great guy, but he was still an awesome teacher.
Yeah, it's like I don't know if I'd like him as a person, but I loved him as a teacher.
He would have been better if he was laid back. Like I can say this one because it's a common name, Mr. King. He was awesome. He was the best teacher I ever had for language arts.
Mm-hmm.
Like the second best was probably your cousin, which I'm not gonna say. I don't think anyone has ever heard your last name. Don't say it.
I won't.
Because right now. Privacy actually matters.
Mm-hmm.
If like a couple million people follow us at any point in time, which won't happen.
No,
probably I doubt it. Make it happen. End of the year. Let's go.
Oh God.
I'm kidding. But like at that point, who cares? Who cares? 10 million people follow you. Who cares? But yeah.
But he's. I've never actually had him as a teacher, my cousin.
You had him as a teacher for what, 3 days?
I was in his class for like 1 to 3 days. And then he sent me to the AP version of his class.
He hated you.
Yeah, because I only called him by his first name. I only called him by his first name, and he got so pissed that I did that.
Here's the thing, I had him 2 years in a row.
Did he know we were friends?
I don't think so. I don't think he knew we were friends.
Oh. Because he would have hated you just because he doesn't like me. I've never done anything to him either. I guarantee I probably only said, other than his name when I see him in the hallway, I probably only said 13 words to the guy.
Yeah. Like, literally, in his class, I would do nothing but draw or write or whatever.
Well, what did you do in any class other than your actual art class?
Well, funny story, I drew in every class except for art class.
Yeah, I know.
The class I wrote.
I know.
I'm not joking.
It's so backwards.
I would write and play cards. And that's it.
No, and then we glued cards to. We made our art out of cards.
Oh yeah, we made Sheila.
Oh God, Sheila, that's a freak of. That shouldn't have existed, but it did.
Robin has Sheila now.
I know it.
I think I still have the crown of cards somewhere. I don't know.
No, whenever we need to get a little Yu-Gi-Oh tournament going, and it's like whoever like wins.
Winner gets Sheila for the week.
Oh God.
I kind of want to get a picture of Sheila now and put that in the video, but
oh God, we could. I have a picture of it.
I probably won't, but I kind of want to do it. But yeah, going back to Caesars, it's like I've made it clear that I don't like math teachers because their subject after X amount of time is worthless.
He's also made it clear that he doesn't like schools or teachers in general.
Oh, I hate our school system in general.
No, the school system is it's actual fuck. It's made of fuck.
Like, I would not care for cussing here.
Oh, sorry.
Like, I would not care about the school system. If after the 8th grade, by the 8th grade, get everything you need out. You can get all 12 years of school through high school, but done by the 8th grade.
You
People
could.
are not that stupid. You could get it done.
Mm-hmm.
And in high school, you can go, listen, obviously, if you're going to complete high school, you probably know what you want to do, or you have a general idea. So high school will now be, we're going to get you ready for college. You don't need to go to high school at all. You don't have to. This can be the it. You can go.
You know, that was my thinking. And it's like, high school can be specialized classes for whatever you're thinking you're going into.
That's what it should have been. And say you got those 4 years to go, I kind of don't want to do this, or I kind of want to do this. Then you go to college.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, everyone can go to high school, but say you're going, I don't want to go to high school, I'd rather get a job. You go get a job, maybe 4 years later, you're like, I kind of want to go to college. You've had a job the last 4 years, you probably know what you're doing. Now, you can say, okay, well, I have money, I can stop working for a little while and go to college. I have some money saved up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just take the ACT, whatever. You just every year you can just be like, hey.
Oh, also the ACT is bullshit. The
Yes.
time limit. The
ACT just sucks in general. I literally had a question that was essentially, what is 2 plus 2? And the answers were 1, 2, 3, and 5. Who wrote this? Who wrote this?
Obviously, it is 3.
It was wrong. No, it was 1, 2, 3, and 6. I just went. I guess I'll go with 3. What do you choose next? The answer's 4. You know it's 4. Everyone around you says, yeah, it's 4, but it's not on the answer. It's like, what do you do in that situation?
Dude, no, I've had so many textbooks, too. The McGraw-Hill textbooks are bullshit. But I've had textbooks where, when the first day of class, the teacher's like, okay, in the textbook that you buy, mark these 6 pages. This is in college.
Never look at those.
These are wrong.
wrong.
These are wrong. Here's what you actually should go with when in the situation. Dude, even in high school, 2 different times, the teacher you had for programming for Java intro, she, when I was in her AP computer science class, wrote up on the board 3 different times that the textbook had the equations in the textbook wrong.
Yeah. And why do we use those in school?
Because McGraw-Hill has the big deal with all the school systems.
Yeah, we don't need high school. High school should not exist.
Have you watched Honest Trailer for textbooks?
I don't watch Honest Trailer.
Okay, I love it. That episode, or that little video was great. But yeah, no, our public school system is absolute bullshit. They have you memorize facts and regurgitate them instead of teaching you how to learn.
Yeah, but my other problem with just how
school doesn't teach you that. What did it teach you? No, it had you memorize facts. That is all you did in school. You didn't learn how to problem solve. You didn't learn how to think. You didn't learn how to understand things.
Let me follow that up with that. That is exactly history class.
Well, history is going. You can't think history you can, but history is memorizing what happened.
Here's the problem. You think that until you realize everyone else's history class outside of America.
Yeah, no.
Because
it's different.
People in England don't learn about the America after we leave. They don't even really learn about the revolution. They're just like, oh, they left. Okay.
Yeah, we sent all of our crazy people and prisoners and some slaves on a boat.
The only true way...
That's it.
The only true way to learn about history is to learn everyone's interpretation of history and just guess who's right. Just find the patterns of all these people say about the same thing and all these people say about the same thing, and that's history. And that's what everyone should learn.
History is an agreed upon lie.
Yes.
Because you don't actually know everything that happened at the time. All you know is what we agree to be the truth. But we agree on a lie with some tiny little bit of understanding.
Yeah, I had 11 history classes. Out of those history classes, I remember Eli Whitney made the kanjin, because everyone knows that for some reason. If you ask me who Eli Whitney is, that's all I can tell you. If you ask me what a kanjin is, I'm looking at you and I'm what? I don't know. What's a kanjin? I honestly don't know.
It picks the seeds out of cotton.
You see, I did not know that. Why? Because I don't need to know that. Why? Because I don't make clothes out of cotton. Why do I care?
I prefer polyester, thank you.
That is actually a really comfortable thing. I wore a Greymon shirt.
No, polyester is legit.
Yeah. But, I mean, seriously. History class...
It's agreed upon. I do think it's good to know, like, the big points from history, because it's like, hey, if you do this, this stuff will happen. If you do this will happen.
Yes, but here's the problem. I realized this in 5th grade. What do you learn in history class?
You learn the same history over and over and over and over.
The earliest you will ever start is Ice Age. Like, that's the earliest I think we've ever started. And then
I don't think I've had one that's in Ice Age.
Like,
dude, I just spent 15 weeks on a class dedicated to Roman civilization.
You see, that would be one thing, because it's one thing.
It was a 1200 year period or something in the Roman history.
Yes.
It was. I understand. I know what event led to what event led to what event. I know the people in it.
I remember we had Greek history in what 7th? It was 7th grade because we were in the same
something
class,
like that.
and we hated our teacher. And that Greek history class lasted a day. And we learned they used to believe in different types of gods. Okay, what were those gods' names? I'm sorry, we are now on to Christianity. What happened?
Who's Christian? Okay, we are now on to the Byzantine Empire.
We went from, we literally, in that class, we went from Egyptian Empire to Roman Empire to Greek to Christianity.
You know what class I've learned the most about the Greeks?
What?
It was in my 6th grade language arts class. We spent 2 weeks just talking about... It was at the end of the year, and we'd finished super early. So we just spent the next 2 weeks, because she was really interested in that topic, so we just talked about it.
Yeah, I just... Through everything up until the 11th grade, and this is where this is going to part here in a second, I remember starting around the Ice Age or whatever, maybe Caveman, maybe Ice Age, around the time England...
Proto-man, proto-civilization.
Yeah, just early
Oh, we
years.
did, in World Civ. We learned about the Ice Age, and it was like, there was the land bridge, Pangea, all this little bullshit.
I started learning about that in 5th grade.
I didn't.
And then we get all to that. We touched up on Egypt and Rome and Greece once in the 7th grade. And then it was, you start around the Ice Age, whatever.
Egypt was
Europe,
messed
whatever.
up.
And then you get all the way to Lincoln. And then that's the end of the year. And next year they go, what did you learn last year? Everything you're about to teach me this year. Okay, let's start from the beginning.
In the beginning, there was ice.
And then you get maybe up to Lincoln. And then you end.
Yeah, no, 6th through 8th grade. They literally teach you the exact same history over again. Three times.
Then you get all the way to 10th grade, which was World Civ. You started really early.
And you end, actually, later. Like, I think we stopped after Twin Towers.
We got to the beginning of World War II, I believe.
Well, they had the Trench Wars, which was in World War II. And they had I remember we had the planes and stuff.
Yeah. Like, we talked a little bit about stuff at 9/11.
I think,
that was
I think we spent like a week and a half on modern-ish, as in, like, 1985 to, like, 2004. We talked about for, like, a week and a half or something, and that was it.
No, we didn't. We didn't talk about that until U.S. history. Which, when I got into U.S. history, they wanted...
I loved the U.S. history teacher.
I'll say this. I'm going to say his name, Mr. Ray. Mr. Ray
He was my favorite history teacher.
He was my favorite history teacher because he actually taught you something.
Dude, and he understood, like, when you said, hey, we've learned this 40... he understood.
Day one. You get into his class, he puts you in your seats, and he says, so Columbus finds America. Not really, but we're going to give it to him because he was the one that brought back evidence. It was actually the Vikings, but we give it to Columbus.
And then Amerigo Vespucci is the one who named it, so, there you go.
And then, okay, so...
he taught you about more modern than you normally get.
He was like, okay, so we're going to start off with the Puritans and the Quakers and everything, and it's like, whoa,
screw the Quakers.
What are you talking about? What the heck's a Puritan? Let me get to this.
What's a Quaker?
I did not know what they were before his class. If you said, what's a Puritan? I would have been like, a purist? What? I don't
and if you
know.
asked me what a Quaker is, I would say the people who make oat cereal.
Yeah, The guy on the oatmeal?
Yeah,
oatmeal
that's,
can
that's
guy?
a Quaker.
That guy? And that's history class. It's why history is my least favorite subject.
Dude, but no, if all teachers were like Mr. Ray and got to teach like he did, like he does, it would have been amazing.
My favorite quote from your cousin, like, just what I remember from him, is him saying, I cannot sit here and teach the same thing year after year. It's boring. I have to change it up. And I love that. Why couldn't that be history class? Every year you go with something else.
Dude, no, and if all of the school system is the same, why can't they teach you, like, actually over time? Like, you learn the simple stuff as when you're a little kid, and, you know, like, starting 6th grade, you actually focus in different periods of time, and it all coalesces by the end.
Yes, that would help.
Because you could get more in depth, and it wouldn't be the same exact BS every single year.
That's why, what was it? It was originally called social studies.
Yeah, it was the study of human interaction.
That's why that was my worst class. I would never do the study guide because I didn't care, and I would always.
You were the reason. I always did the study guides,
Yeah,
and you were the reason I had to turn them in.
I tell people that all the time at work because they also have that teacher. They're like, no, all teachers do that. He didn't.
He didn't for the first 80% of the class, but because of you, the last 6 study guides, we had to turn in for a grade. And I wasn't going to do them because I was working at my mom's work then, and I'm like, just screw this. But because you specifically.
It's because it was like, he thought I couldn't learn the subject without the study guide. You have to do the study guide to know how to do this thing. No.
Yeah, it was one of those things. It's like, when a math teacher gives you a paper and is like, now I'm not going to take this up, and you're instantly near I'm not doing this. And they're like, but it'll help you practice.
Here's one thing. I had a math teacher in 10th grade, my geometry teacher. I'll call her Amy because that's her first name. I won't say her last name because it's a unique last name. She was, by far, my favorite math teacher because at one point during the year she went, listen, I know you guys haven't been turning in your assignments. I don't grade them. If you turn them in and every answer is signed, you get 100% on the assignment. And so we all started turning this in. I passed that class with 100% because the only assignment I would do was the study guide, and she let you use that on the test. And the test was the study guide. She just got rid of the word study guide on it, and it was the exact same paper. I loved that class. She was the
that's what
coolest
Mr.
math
Ray's
teacher.
tests were. It's like, if you did the study guide, then everything was actually on there. Dude, no, in college, they don't give you study guides. In my college, at least. They're like, what's on the test? Everything that's been over the semester. Okay, what's on the test specifically? Everything we've done over the semester.
Either you learned it or you didn't.
Yeah, no, so I'm gathering every paper, and then it's actually all on the test. The entire class, it's like, if you didn't pay attention every day, you would not pass the test.
You see, I would not pass that test because I can't stay focused on stuff I don't care about.
Yeah, no, and it's stupid. Dude, and why in college do you have to take BS classes that you aren't going to use? So I feel like by the time, if you're paying for your classes, why do you have to pay for classes you're not going to use the knowledge from?
Yeah.
Why should I have to take 4 English classes and 3 history classes if I'm a freaking computer science and engineering major?
Well, when you're writing down your data, you need to have good grammar.
Okay, screw you. I will shorthand that just to spite all of my English teachers ever. I'm going to write it in shorthand in all capital.
Please do. That'll just be every post you do if we ever when we make our website. It'll just be short and all caps. I have a hangover! Exclamation point!
Frowny face.
I drank too much.
Oh, God.
Why is the room spinning?
Oh, God.
That teacher, Amy, I loved her class because Johnny was in her class.
Oh, God, dude.
We used to duel in that class.
I know, you told me, and then there were 3 times I went to duel with you all, and then the teacher wouldn't let me in the room, ever.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, and I went with Tristan to try to duel twice. Because you know how he kept saying we don't do anything in there except play computer games? And he was like, we duel in there, me and my buddies. I went there 4 different times, and the teacher had me sit at a computer by myself and would not let me duel with them.
At one point during the year, at the end of the year, I was playing Chrono Trigger on my PSP. And always had my PSP at school, but I never played it because school.
Remember when
I
the
never had time.
PSP was a thing?
I had it after the Vita.
Oh God, man, retro.
I never got. I don't have a Vita. I still have my PSP somewhere.
I thought you
It's
had.
right there.
I thought you had
It's
a.
right there.
I thought you had a Vita. Or
No, that was Jacob.
Okay.
That was Wolfstorm. Yeah, I was in her class, and I was like, Johnny wasn't done working. I'm like, oh, forget it. I turned it in. I made eye contact with her. She knows I turned it in. I pulled it out and started playing in class. And she looked up at me, and I looked up at her. We made eye contact, and she just went back down and never said a word.
See,
to me.
if you were in school today, and did the teacher would just be like, "Wait, you have a PSP?"
That was 3 years ago.
Dude, yeah, no, those are so outdated. But dude, you can't beat the classics.
Like that teacher did not care what you did. She really didn't. If you turned into work, it didn't matter. Literally, half the tests she did were co-op tests, meaning you got one partner.
Who in the how do you take a test together?
Easy. You turn your desks towards each other and you just talk to each other while you're doing the test. And if you were me and Johnny, I did the test and you copied.
Oh God.
Which actually happened a lot in the history class.
Johnny only gives a fuck when he wants to give a fuck.
Johnny is awesome.
He is the king of everything. He is Mormon Jesus.
I love that came from him calling someone else that. And now he's it.
Yeah, no, he is the new Mormon Jesus.
And I love that it's like, oh, he's agnostic.
Yeah.
Like, he's not a Christian. I am. It's like, he
I'm
goes
atheist,
by that.
so, screw it. I can't get in trouble. Any more than I already am, so.
It's like, he legitimately, he believes in something, but he doesn't care.
It's like, I know something happened, but, it's not affecting me at all.
Yeah. Man. But.
I love how you have the same poster 2 different times.
They're different posters.
They're in the same positions, it's just zoomed in more and with a different background.
Except the other Kingdom Hearts poster has Roxas and Axel and
it's
Naminé.
just zoomed in.
No?
It's like
that one's
zoomed in and it's got a different background.
No, that's the launch event for Kingdom Hearts 1.5.
No, that's them at Twilight Town.
No, it's not.
It looks like Twilight Town.
It's Traverse Town. And it's that one right there.
Well, I meant Traverse Town. There's
that
not a Twilight
original
Town
poster
in it, is there?
for what?
There's not a Twilight Town in Kingdom Hearts, is there?
There is in Kingdom Hearts 2, and
well, I only played for the one. I meant Traverse Town.
yeah,
like,
Traverse Town was in Kingdom Hearts 1.
I recognize the city.
Traverse Town was in 3 games.
Well, the one I played had Traverse Town in it.
Yeah.
It's like he wakes up in
in 4
Traverse Town
games.
after his world ends, basically. After the island blows up.
Yeah, Twilight Town, the first time you go there is in Chain of Memories after Kingdom Hearts 1.
Well, I never got there.
Kingdom Hearts 2, and yeah.
I got stuck at Tarzan and then gave up.
You didn't get stuck at Tarzan, because I came over and got you past Tarzan.
Okay, I stopped playing at Tarzan.
Yeah.
Because I got bored.
Yeah, you can't play games that are single player that much.
I can't play a single player. I gotta have somebody with me in a room. I can't be by myself in a room at all.
Yeah, that's things like I have more fun doing co-op Let's Plays, even if it's a single player game. Like the Kingdom Hearts series would be so much more fun.
On it.
Yeah, that's why my 2 favorite episodes, even though you can't hear audio worth a crap, are in episodes 2 and 3 because you're voicing in both of them. You can't hear you because your microphone sensitivity is so low.
I don't like to turn it up because I get loud. When I get excited, people tell me to be quiet. So I'm like, if I just keep it low, it'll be fun.
Yeah, you need to keep it up. Like being excited is one thing, but if you can't be heard when you aren't.
Well, yeah, but like your brother gets upset when I get too loud.
That's because he doesn't like people being too loud. He doesn't like being excited. He feels nothing. Much like me, only I like to feel things. I'm a robot.
Oh my god. I want to feel.
I feel nothing but hatred. So
your range of emotions are slightly annoyed to extremely pissed.
I can be really excited at certain things.
Yeah, but it's like, even when you're excited, there's always a little bit of simmering under there.
That's a lot of me just trying to be like, I want to get all the anger out, but if I get all the anger out, there's going to be one less building in the world.
Oh, God.
Kind of.
Now, one of these days you're going to snap, and just the raw emotional energy from your anger will destroy what's next to you.
When I snap, my boss is going to need a new business, because I'm going to figure out how to get it out of business.
Like literally, all of the buildings around the world will just simultaneously like explode.
No, that's my boss's store will no longer be open. Like he'll lose the restaurant. Like I'm not gonna do it yet,
But someday.
but I'm gonna do it.
Oh God, if your boss ever listened to this, like no one is ever going to hear this.
I don't care if my boss hears this, because if he fires me, he loses his best worker. He loses the guy that saves them 99% of the time. Yes, let's fire that guy.
So what do you do when your best employee hates everything about everything you have them do?
It'd be like Mr. Krabs firing SpongeBob if SpongeBob had Squidward's attitude.
Yeah,
That is me at my job.
He's my business. He's the only reason people come here. He's literally the only worker I have that does the work I assign them. But they are so damn annoying all the time and have a constant foul mood, and I think they plan my death when I'm not looking.
I mean, I plan the death of his restaurant, but I don't plan his death because I don't care about him.
Yeah, I mean, that would require you feeling emotion towards your boss.
I'm just like, don't talk to me. He's fought me on like 3 different things every time I've shut him up.
And that's what my mom did.
He cannot win an argument with me because I present the facts and he realizes he's wrong and then he leaves.
My mom's boss just got intimidated by how manly and tough my mom is.
Yeah. We were talking about teachers a minute ago, and I was going to talk
Yeah,
about
and we were also
teachers.
talking about history and English and job.
Yeah, we've been talking about a lot of school, which is a thing.
Stay in school, kids, because it's legally mandated.
I wish it wasn't. I would not have gone to high school outside of this area.
That's the thing. School learning isn't bad. People, if you teach them things that they're interested in, they will come of their own volition.
I've learned more from TV than I have from school.
I read books for fun. I've learned like philosophies. I've learned history. I've learned, how the world works from books that aren't even about that.
I will say this. I've had, like, high school, I had a few teachers in 9th grade that I liked. Like, my first 2 periods were really good. Like, I liked the teachers. I had,
You could have skipped all of 9th grade, though, and not lost any education.
well, I had Mr. King in 9th grade. So,
Okay,
I was staying for that.
No, but, like, I'm saying, nothing they teach you in 9th grade, you learn it all again in 10th grade.
Yeah. I'll say this about stuff like that. In, like, the school we went to, we had 2 art teachers and 7 classes between the 2. I took all 7 classes. I am an artist. I passed every single one of them. One guy literally went, "This is an easy class. This is an easy A. It's art." And then about 2 days later, he looked at me and went, "So, how do you make purple on the color wheel?"
See, that got me. I took art as a senior. I took an art class, or like as a junior, right?
Yeah. You took it as a senior because you came to my art class every once in a while.
Well, yeah, but I took it as a junior. I took an art class, right? And there were people there, 17 years old, 18 years old, did not know how to make purple, did not know how to make orange, didn't know how to make like violet. And I'm like, how do you not know how to? Watch Blue's Clues. I mean,
This just in, Neon does not know that purple and violet is the same color.
they are different shades.
They are the same color. Purple and violet is the exact same color, just a different name. Technically,
No,
purple
violet
doesn't
is
exist.
violet is like, more saturated.
They're the same color. Like,
Okay, but they didn't know how to make any secondary or tertiary colors on the color wheel.
no,
And how do you not know that as an adult?
he knew how to make orange and green. He just didn't know how to make purple.
Okay, I know a guy did not know how to make green or purple on a color. I knew there was one guy in there who thought yellow was a secondary color. He's like, it goes red, blue, green, right? And I'm like, he thought you made yellow by mixing blue and green.
On a computer, yes.
If you're using if you're using light, you do that. If you're using light, you have blue, pink, or it's a pinkish purple. You have blue, a pinkish purple, and yellow. And then you mix those. It's the colors of light or something. It's like
I
weird.
mean, Rory G. Biv.
Yeah, but I'm saying he thought that applied to like paint.
Yeah, no.
It bothered me that people don't know how to mix colors.
I love art classes. I don't like art teachers. I really don't.
I have only ever had like 2 that I like.
Like,
because you know me, you not trying at all, you giving 1/10 of a single % of effort will make a drawing that looks like you put more effort into it than if I tried my hardest.
not always. I've seen you make some pretty good art. Like, you're actually fairly decent about drawing realistic stuff.
Yeah, but
Like, you are nowhere near Voidstorm. No one's near Voidstorm. Like,
no, but he makes pictures that look like he makes pictures with pencils.
yeah.
But
it's like,
I mean, I can't. I have to put 80 times the effort in to make something passable that you could make in 10 seconds without effort.
10 seconds is a stretch, but I could probably do it in less than 9 if I really wanted to.
But you know what I'm saying. And the art teachers graded me like that.
Yeah.
They thought I didn't put effort in because my stuff looked awful.
Yeah, that's a huge reason why I don't like most art teachers. Because the art teacher in high school I dealt with most, which I had 4 classes with her, I hated being in her class. I loved the subject. I loved drawing. I loved making stuff with art. Her class was, here's a rubric, follow everything to the letter, but be creative.
Yeah, remember,
Why?
I was in her class for like 3 days, remember?
I wasn't in there with you.
No, but like, I remember telling you about it.
Yeah, you told me about it.
Yeah, I hated it. I got out of that.
Like, I love art. I really do. The other art teacher, I loved every second I was in her class. Because everyone was like if she had, she made us do sketches, but she was like, I don't care how much effort you put into it. I'm literally going to look at it and go, you did a sketch. Good.
You know, she had me download 3 different documentaries that we watched in class. Yeah. And then I downloaded the Book of Life, and we watched it in class.
Yeah. Like, she was an awesome teacher. Because she went through all her classes in college and was like, they graded you way too hard. Like, you remember how we made a shoe back in 8th grade out of clay?
Yeah, I still have that somewhere.
I did that in 12th grade in my Art 3 sculpture class. And
I know, I was in there when you made it.
Literally, it was crushed, and when I turned it in, it was broken in 2 pieces. I got an A on it. It's because she went, well, it's not your fault that it broke in 2. Like that, it happens. It's
other
clay.
art teachers would have been like,
other art teachers would have given me an F for that, but she went
like, well, you glazed it wrong or something,
yeah.
And it got, screwed up.
But at that time, you had to have 3 drawings in an art class for the college and career ready crap. And
oh yeah, because they added that as an art class like 1 year. No, they revoked it before you graduated, yeah. But because they had it there for like a single semester, they had to let you all have that.
Yeah, I actually didn't graduate with that because I was like, oh, the only reason why I was going to get this was because we were going to go off to an amusement park for a day, but I have to pay now. I'm not going to bother. I would rather just stay here and play on my phone.
I got the thing, but then I didn't get to go on the field trip. It cost money.
Yeah. Like, I told you specifically, don't bother, you won't have the money. And then you were like, yeah, I'm going to go. You can get cheap coupons and things, and you didn't have the money.
No.
I knew you wouldn't have the money.
I had money, but I had to spend it on, other things that weren't fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, art teachers, I don't like art teachers. Like, follow this to the letter and be creative.
No, and the classes aren't creative. They're like, okay, sit here, draw this way. Okay, next, draw this way, paint this way.
Yeah. My art 4
How's
class...
that creative?
My art 4 class with that first art teacher, I hated it. I flat out hated it because 99% of the projects was literally, she gave us this folder where we stapled
You had to meet the
papers.
Requirements for whatever assignment you did, and that was it.
She gave us a folder with a bunch of papers in it, like blank printer paper, and she gave us a bunch of assignments for it. Like, all the assignments were, draw this and make it represent your innermost self, something that no one's ever seen. It literally got to the point where I drew a stick figure and just went, I'm done. That's the thing. And my grade on it was like, she gave me a C and was like, I feel like you could have put more effort into it. I did! Did you look at the first, 3 pages that were just incredible? Like, took hours to make. And through the progression of the exact same assignment 12 times, got worse and worse every single time.
Yeah, dude, no, I was in her class for 3 days, and it was like, you draw this, and it has to meet these requirements. It had to have, 6 vertical horizontal lines and so many slanted, just a bunch of bullshit like that.
About halfway through that assignment, she had everyone come up and say, hey, what do you think about this assignment we're doing? And I went, I don't like it. It's too tedious. It's the exact same assignment over and over again. It's not a good assignment.
And like a good teacher, she took your creative criticism and utilized it in the class to make it better, right?
Nope.
Exactly.
She just gave me the same assignment another 12 times.
Yeah, because that is our school system. America for the win.
I actually found a part of the assignment at one point. She had a I am poem thing where it's like all these I am, I feel, I do, I see, I. It's all of those, and one of them
Hear
was
no
like,
evil, see no evil, speak no evil.
one of them was like, I understand. It was like, I wonder, I understand, and Void Storm was like, I wonder why Willem Dafoe watches me at night.
Oh God!
And on mine, I would keep that, and I put, I understand Willem Dafoe watches Void Storm at night.
Oh God!
And he didn't keep it. I kept it, and he didn't keep it, and I had to change it.
So now yours didn't make sense.
It wouldn't have made sense. It would have been funny if he would have left his.
Wait, remember the senior quotes thing? We didn't do that.
We did.
I don't remember.
At one point, someone asked me, I just went, I don't care. Just leave me out of it.
Dude, remember though when we were like sophomores, all of them were from SpongeBob.
Yeah.
It was all SpongeBob quotes, and I loved that. And we were gonna have a theme, and then nobody like did it.
Yeah, no one cared. But here's the thing: no one cares. No one will ever care.
That's because they don't make you care. To make someone care, it has to be interesting. It has to be useful.
Give me some effort. Like when it comes down to anything, what do I watch when I'm watching TV? I watch whatever feels like it has effort. What do I play when I play video games? Whatever has effort.
Teachers should have the freedom, as long as it meets a certain requirement, to do their class how they want.
Yeah.
But no, every teacher, it doesn't matter the teacher, all the classes are going to be basically the same thing.
I hate school. I really do.
Sit in a room with lights that make your head hurt.
And they stress
And
them
desks. Yeah, no, and then
they stress the importance of college, and you go through 12 years going, you need to go to college, you need to go to college, you need to go to college, and then you get to high school and you're sitting here going, they're going, you need to go to college. No.
well, I'm in college and they're going. They just tell us to sleep more because we don't sleep in college.
Like, it's literally a thing of like, by the time you get to the point where you're like, I want to go to college, you don't care. Like, why would I spend hundreds or thousands of dollars to go to college?
They pay me to go to college.
Yeah, but you're broke.
Yeah, I'm poor. I need the money. Go
Your
to college,
shoe-
we'll pay you.
You can't afford your shoes, but your shoes can afford you.
Dude,
That's how broke you are.
look at what do you notice about these shoes? What's on this?
Oh, those are the shoes you burned.
Yeah, when I tried to put out a fire, I lit with a candle on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
I almost burned my room down lighting a candle.
Yeah.
And then I had to put my carpet out with my sandals, and now my sandals are burnt.
And those are the sandals you've had since you were 12.
You know what? No, I've had these for like 2 years. The ones that I had since I was 12 broke last year.
If you wouldn't have said that, it wouldn't have been as funny.
I can't help that I'm poor. It hurts.
Just leave out the stuff of having something for 7 years. I mean, granted, I've had the same sandals for like 4 or 5 years, but I don't wear them. 99% of the time, I wear shoes. I never get use out of my
I
sandals.
used to walk around barefoot until I got stung for like the 3rd time and almost died. I hate wearing anything on my feet, man. This is the closest I can come to barefoot. I want a pair of Samurai Jack sandals. I want the wooden sandals with the little, it's basically, the little pegs.
You want tabby? I believe that's the term for them.
Well, yeah, no, I want that. I want the wooden sandals with the 2 pieces, one on the front and back, and I want to walk around and I want it to clack every step I take.
I want you to have those for about the 5 seconds it takes before you fall on your face.
I would probably break my neck in them, but you know what? It would be a glorious way to go down.
You would wear them one time and fall on your face. And I will be recording that.
It only took me like 3 weeks to learn to rollerblade, so I could walk like a foot before I die.
Yeah.
I still haven't learned to drive, though.
You'll never learn to drive.
No.
Don't let your sister drive.
Oh, God.
Never
See, that's
let
my
that
thing.
happen.
If I drove, I would hit somebody on accident. If my sister drove, she would hit somebody because they looked at her.
Yeah, if your sister ever gets a license or a permit, I'm moving anywhere.
My mom says when I'm on the roads are the safest place to be because I'll be on the sidewalk. Those are the little pick-me-ups I need.
Yeah. You see, I may be harsh on you, but I'm not that harsh.
No,
I'll call you an idiot, but
the worst
know
things
it's-
you've called me are better than the nicest things my mom has ever said to me.
yeah. To be fair, when I'm calling you stupid or whatever, I'm saying it ironically.
Yeah.
Because
No, I'm usually reinforcing it.
I will say, ironically, like you are an idiot.
Yes.
Everyone's an idiot.
Yes.
But you can take it to that extra level. But you are probably one of the smartest guys I know, which is why I say I can call you that ironically.
I am one of the most depressing and happiest people you know.
Not really. I know some depressing people.
No, but I'm the combination.
Yeah,
I am a walking oxymoron.
Yeah, you're a weird guy.
It's fun. So, what is the weirdest food you've ever had?
That I don't think I have weird food much. It's gotten
They've served some weird stuff up at my college, man. I just need to hear an example, because I've got some stories I could tell about food. And I shouldn't have food stories.
I would say the weirdest thing I've ever eaten the weirdest thing I've ever eaten is probably something they served to us at school.
Remember, I kid you not, there were 2 different times in high school where it didn't say what it was, it said, remember meat on bun?
Yes.
Meat on bun! It didn't tell you what it was.
It was essentially McRib made of tofu. No, there was one point we had, I think it was a barbecue sandwich.
I know, it smelled like tires that had been burned.
It was like this barbecue sandwich on a hamburger bun.
Yeah.
You were eating it, you found bones in it.
I remember I kept showing you, I would keep pulling bone pieces out of my mouth, and I'm like, this is not meat.
This is a weird thing. We had a friend disappear. Evan had disappeared that day, and we thought they may have killed it and cooked Evan.
Okay, I remember that episode of an Adult Swim cartoon.
Like that. To be fair, if they would have done that, no one would really have missed him.
I mean, yeah, he was the richest, poorest, smartest, dumbest, best, worst person you ever knew because he said whatever.
I remember at one point he was richer than me, but poorer than you.
Yeah, no,
How is that possible?
We would be at lunch, I'd be telling poor stories, you'd be telling rich stories. And then he would be both worse, and better. No, remember when his dad was the survivor guy on Animal Planet?
No.
He had me convinced for like 2 weeks that his dad was the Survivor Man guy, the guy that got stung by the eel or whatever, the manta ray. He had me convinced that was his dad.
At one point, in one conversation, in 3 sentences, he went from having 5 cars to having 1 car that barely worked.
12. I remember it was like 12 rich, fancy sports cars or something.
We've had this conversation a lot with Evan. Where it's like, it's always different. It's either 5, it's 6, it's 7, it's 12, it's 18, it's 20, it's 0.
Yeah,
it's
no,
1.
and then it's also like a bug beetle thing that doesn't run hardly.
It's a bicycle missing a wheel and a tire, but on different wheels and tires. He's missing the back wheel, but he's missing the front tire.
Yeah, I don't know how that works.
The tire's still on the back, he's just missing the wheel to it.
He told me, now remember he kept telling me, even over like the last year, that he worked at the McDonald's. He told me he was the manager there.
No, he wasn't the manager, he was fry cook at best.
You know, did he ever tell you that his grandma owned the McDonald's? Is that true?
I actually think it is, because I have an old coworker that said that he knew a guy whose aunt. It was his aunt. Owned the place,
he told
and
me it was his grandma. I don't know.
It was his aunt, and he would say, yeah, he thought it was all big stuff because his aunt was the general manager.
Yeah, it was that.
I was like, huh.
That was the one story he told that was true.
The one story he tells, it's true, and you're just going, okay, you got me. You told one story that's true. Like, you know how he used to have a truck?
Yeah.
He actually has that truck.
He does?
Yeah, I've been to his house. He has that truck. I've seen it.
I've only ever seen him drive a car. I didn't think he had the truck.
He can drive now?
I've seen him drive twice in town.
I've never seen him drive. Like, he said his parents would pay for him to get his permit or license. Which, I mean, that's understandable. I could believe that.
Mine couldn't.
Yeah, yours can't or won't.
Didn't buy my one for my permit and won't buy me my one for my license.
I could see them being like, I'm not going to buy it for you now, because...
You can't drive.
Yeah. It's like
Evan is just great.
You know, I love how all my fun driving stories, you're the one that's driving. Like, that's like, all the stories, like, I can't believe we survived that. You were driving.
Okay, you know what? That was a really fun class, and you enjoyed it.
Yes, I did. Here's why.
We made it to Taco Bell.
We ended up going, at the time, like, we went down this road that my sister used to live on.
No, you gotta start at the part where we were getting out of the parking lot, and I was on the curb.
Did that happen?
It happened twice.
I don't remember that happening, but it probably happened. But I remember...
You may have not noticed.
I was probably laughing.
The driving teacher noticed.
I was probably laughing.
Dude, he never used the brake on you. He used the brake on me.
Well, I knew what I was doing. Like, here's one of the reasons why I always made you drive first. Every time you would drive first, you would scare the heck out of him. So when I would get in, he'd just drive. He would freak.
But Mrs. Buff, we aren't driving.
He would freak out, and I loved it. Like,
no, and he needed, if I drove us back, he would be shaking by the time he got into the class.
Like, I would turn around and drive the turn signal, and I'd look over like a fraction of a second. I'd look in the rearview mirror, and I'd start turning. And he'd be like, you flip out every time. I loved it.
Poor guy, PTSD.
Yes, you did, and I love it. Like, granted, he did say you were not the worst driver he has dealt with.
Yeah, no, I wasn't the worst. I think I was probably like the fourth.
No, he said he's dealt with many, many worse drivers than these. So
Well,
you probably weren't in the top 10.
No, but here's the thing. I tried really hard when I was driving. It's like the other people he's had probably were either trying to scare him or just having fun.
Yeah.
I would accidentally drive us on the curb and pull us up in front of cars that were...
But I remember we turned left out of a stoplight on a 5-lane road because it had a turning lane, and you weren't even in the turning lane. You were on the lane to the left of the turning lane. You weren't on the wrong side of traffic.
I was on the wrong side of the road. He loved it. He loved it.
The one time in my life that I wish I was in the front seat and he was sitting in the middle in the back and I could just see his face, because the way the back of his head just scrunched up.
Oh, God.
Like, I never saw his face, but I saw the back of his head and all the fear that was on his face.
Dude, he slammed that brake. He grabbed the wheel. He had his hand on the wheel.
He grabbed the wheel. He didn't even look. He just turned it.
He never did yell at me, though. He never raised his voice.
Like, I love that during that story, the second I realized it and the second he realized it, I realized it like 2 seconds before him, and I just started laughing. I was losing it, and then he realized it. And then and I started laughing more.
You're like, we're all gonna die, but this guy's gonna have a heart attack first.
What went through my mind is, this is how I die, but at least I'm dying happy.
No, they just uncover the car. They just find you. You're dead with a smile on your face. He died laughing.
And they're like, what?
The angriest person we know died laughing.
How is he can smile? I didn't know that.
Your mom wouldn't be able to identify. But that looks like my son, but he doesn't smile. I'm sorry.
Which, here's the thing.
I have been in 5 lanes of traffic at once. I got to tell you the story.
You have told me the story, but let me get this first. Like, the time he drove on the wrong side of the road, I still had my permit. The time that he was flipping out because I was driving perfectly and he was just all over the road with his face, it's like, that was after I got my license.
I know.
He was flipping out at that after I got my license.
We drove in your car together before that.
Yeah. It's like, I loved just doing that. Anyway, your 5-lane story.
Okay, so I had only been driving once before. My dad had taken me to a church, and, we were just driving around in a big empty parking lot in circles while I kept trying to remember how you turn the handle under the steering wheel to get what position the tires, or which way you want the car to go, right? So this was my first time driving on a road. And my uncle and my brother, the one time my brother has something to do with me that he didn't need money, took me out into the middle of town and had me drive them to go get, like, dip or something. Just took me to the middle of town. Let me drive. Whichever way I wanted to turn, we went that way. Whichever lane I happened to be in, that's the lane we were in. We got up there. You know where the big lanes in town are, right? With all 5 lanes? I had the car slanted. We literally had a piece of the car in all 5 lanes.
You see, you telling the story, the only thing I'm imagining is like that concrete barrier on the interstate and the car just upside down, just kind of tilting back and forth, and your family standing on one side of the car, you're on the other side, and you're just going, I don't know what went wrong.
Oh,
I
God.
really don't.
Oh, God. But, dude, I was in the turning lane, the right-of-way lane, the backward... I don't even know the parts of the road, dude. But, like, my uncle started laughing, like, a crazy laugh, like an I'm-gonna-die laugh, like, I've lost my mind from stress laugh. And my brother is doing nothing but holding on to the sides of the car, like, white-knuckled. I kid you not, it was like in one of those cartoons from, like, the 70s, right? And when we get back home... My uncle tells my mom, this is after, they were screaming, I kid you not at one point. My uncle tells my mom that brown stain in the back is not in fact dip spit, that he needs to change his pants. And that is all he says. He has not been in a car with me since. And my brother told me that he would not get back in a car with me after that until he got right with God and the devil.
Yeah. So you're never going to have to give your brother a ride, right?
Yeah, no, never. Because he won't ever.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the one bad thing about, like, I want to go on a road trip. Like, the one thing I want to do so much with my friends is let's all get in a car, like, $2,000 a piece, and let's just go. We'll figure it out.
For gas, a hotel, we'll just go. Dude, no, that would be so fun to do for, like, a summer or a month or something.
I just want to do that. We will never do that.
No, but we should.
Like, if the channel took off. If the channel took off and we had 50,000 subscribers. If we had 50,000 subscribers, I would quit my job. I would quit my job, devote it to YouTube all the time. I would get everything ready to go for like a month, and then we just go.
And it would be glorious.
That would be awesome.
Oh, man. No, that would be so fun.
Yeah. And Kedrix is wanting to go to RTX next year.
Yeah.
The receipt thing. Like, he wants to go, and he wants to fly. I'm like, I don't want to fly.
I want to drive.
I want to drive. I want to go on a road trip. Because the only road trips I've ever been on was, like, to my grandparents' house, and I went to Florida once. And I went to Virginia once.
You know what that means?
We need to go on a road trip.
It means you've left the state way more times than I have.
Yeah. Well, I've been to Illinois a bunch of times. I've gone there usually once a year.
I've been to Ohio twice. That is the only time I have left the state.
Yeah, but I want to go on a road trip. But no one's like, yeah, let's go on a road trip. Okay, we all are going to save money, right? Why are there crickets? Can someone please talk? Please? Anything?
I don't have money.
And everyone's like, yeah, we're getting jobs.
There's a spider on your wall.
Yeah.
I believe this kendo stick is the correct form of response.
No. I'll kill it. Anyway, guys, that's all for this episode. If you like this, comment, subscribe, spread around with your friends, whatever.
We need your support.
Let us know what you want to see, and if you like any of our other videos, just continue. Whatever. Anyway, guys, we'll see you in the next video.
Live long and eat moss.
Yeah.